Good evening, everyone. Today we have CA Piyush Khandelwal with us on our platform. Piyush Khandelwal is a chartered accountant by profession with over 13 years of experience and a technology enthusiast. He is passionate about learning and implementing new things, tools, technology. He is a regular speaker at various forums like ICAI, ACCA, CII, CMA, and at corporates. Piyush specializes on subjects like Ind AS, IFRS, US GAAP on the core accounting front. He is enthusiastic about the new technologies as well, like AI, ML, big data, blockchain, data science. He also has keen interest in the area of soft skills and self development. He has conducted various seminars on thinking, time management, game theory, storytelling for corporates, and motivation for students. I'm feeling delighted to welcome him and start today's webinar on a very interesting and niche topic, that is how to land up your dream job. And before that, I would like to ask CA Sumit Gar to say a few words about CA Piyush Khandelwal ji and today's webinar.
Thank you, Pooja ji. And once again, welcome to each one of you and all viewers for joining our regular channel, Being Casa and Educating for updating yourself. And we have today CA Piyush Khandelwal ji, eminent expert. जैसा कि अभी पूजा जी ने बताया, so many qualification and experience and what is their hobby regarding the professional values. So we will try to learn what the career opportunities during the dream job we are facing and what opportunities we can catch in this COVID-19 situation pandemic. So we will discuss and how we can focus on our dream job and so many things we will learn today by Piyush Khandelwal ji. Once again, welcome to Piyush ji on this channel first time. And all viewers, thank you very much for joining. And we will uh, start our technical session. Over to you,
Sure,
Piyush ji, for your session.
sure, Sumit ji. Thank you. Thanks, Pooja ji, for your kind introduction. Um, yeah, so we will start off with a topic which is actually, after COVID, if something is in news, it is jobs, right? That jobs are getting impacted significantly. People are losing jobs. Forget about getting it, but people are losing their existing job, which has become a very, very concerning issue, right? And I think some way or the other, we are getting impacted because of this, right? And which is not a thing which we should deny. We should accept the fact, because this is what is happening really. You see, it is white collar job or technical job, even good qualification people, good experienced people are out of the job suddenly because the company itself has closed down, right? In this dynamic situation, I believe it becomes very important to do it very properly, job search. uh, Before that, while going to my technical subject, I think it is important to understand from my experience, so that you will be able to connect the things which I am telling you. And this is, I will immune all the discussions for a time being from the COVID situation. Okay, even if there is COVID or no COVID, the job, getting the right job, getting the right pay after so much of hard work and qualification is always a challenge. But let me just give you a sense of my experience, and then I will try to relate a lot of things what we discuss. So basically, I worked in a big four for 12 years. Okay, so I did audit for 5 years, and then 7 years I was in consulting. I have searched the job all this while as well, right? So I have been a job seeker also. Right, there are ups and downs. I'll be very honest in this conversation that every every individual faces ups and downs कि यार वो क्वेश्चन आता है कि why I'm doing this, I can do it much better, some other company will hire me, right? So there have been these kinds of ups and downs when I was working in KPMG during early years, I would say till 5th year or 6th year. Okay, this all happened. Then from 6 7 years with so much of experience, I also got an opportunity to hire people, right? So I got an opportunity to take first level of interviews for next 3 years, right? I used to take first level of interview, technical interview, and then give it to my seniors, partner directors, to take the interview and take the final call. So my skin was lesser in the game because someone else was taking that call. uh, Last organization I was hiring for my company basically, so I was moving towards a decision maker where I can take the final decision of taking that individual on the roles of a large organization. So my decision was binding on that organization as well. So my responsibilities kept on increasing when I reached like 9 10th year. So you see, I can see all these three mindsets, right, for the organization. Then from April onwards, I started off my own, and then I started for my own organization, right? And I will share all the challenges and good thing, bad thing, which has happened, and what kind of candidates I have met. Okay, so looking at all these things, I have started hiring for my own company. There were different challenges, and in this new role, I also help companies hire professionals from the job market, right? So there are companies who request me that we want skilled resources in this and this domain. Especially, to be honest, I deal and focus mainly in the accounts and finance field. CA, MBA, CMA, CPA, all these qualifications I deal with while hiring for my company and for for the companies where I have the tie up with, right? So basically, this is what my roles have been, right? So I have seen, I can see the point of view which the new guys are coming up, which is there the first level of interview, what are their expectations, right? When you hire on behalf of company, then what is the mindset of that person? And when the company itself, the main stakeholders hires you, basically when you reach at a higher level, what is the mindset change which you can see, right? So job search is a very very wide and a complex topic, right? So I always say whether job search is an art or a science, right? So science is a methodical process where 2 plus 2 will always be 4, right? But job search is not, right? So it depends on lot of moving parts basically, when you start your job search, but art also, needs practice, needs focus. Let's say for example, if you want to uh, paint a picture, right? Your day has to be good, your color selection has to be good, right? The thoughts which are coming in your mind should be good, and hence you can come up with a nice painting. But the main qualification is that you need to have the basic understanding of painting, right? Then only you can paint a nice picture. But on the other hand, science is always very very methodical, where if you put up a formula, anyone puts up that formula, the answer would be same. I would say job search does not form part of science. There is no formula, there is no specific formula, there is no one formula which will help you land in a dream job, basically what you are looking at, right? So so what we will have to do is we will have to decipher it and understand it in a much bigger context. Okay, and then I will come. So this is going to be like a workshop. I will be giving you some very very practical tips. Out of that, if you can just keep 3 and 4 in your mind, I think your job searching perspectives can be much much better, right? So look at it in this fashion. So are why the basic question which I am asking for all the participants here, and please put it on the chat box, is that why are you doing a job search? Why are you searching for a job? You have completed your professional qualification. What is the need of having a job search, right? So some of the things, some of the answers which we may get is that to earn money. Definitely, we are studying, we are becoming professionals to run our livelihood, right? And not the job search. Job searches can be one of the objective of the learning which we are doing, right? So there, it's a very wider topic as to, are you just focusing on job search, or you are focusing on livelihood, and job search is just one means of earning that livelihood. Getting my point? I believe because we are on this platform, so you can use your chat box so that we can make this interactive. Okay, I can see all your chats basically. So job search is actually a part of our life, right? Because people can take a decision of becoming an entrepreneur, right? They can start off their own, they can start something on their own. There are some issues while you go to entrepreneurship, and job search, job is much safer thing. So I would say, even if we have decided that we will try to look for a job in a large organization, in a big organization, it is important that we we keep focusing on our skills. Basically, we keep focusing on livelihood. So job is a form of earning livelihood, right? So in case you make yourself so dynamic that you are not bounded by the job, right? You are not bounded by the job. You have those skills that you can utilize it anywhere, and can generate money, can generate funds out of it, right? Why I am bringing this point? Because maybe you might not have heard all these things, or might have thought about it, but the job market dynamics itself is changing significantly. Okay, so like we all are moving towards the pay as you use concept, right? Why we like Ola, Uber, why we like internet connections where it is pay per usage basis, right? How many GBs you have consumed, you will just pay for that and move forward. So even companies are going sleek, and they are utilizing the services of people on pay per use basis, right? So you will find ample of the job sites, right, which are providing these kind of services, where you can register yourself and companies can just buy your services rather than taking you on roll. So it is somewhere in between. You are not in complete entrepreneur, you are not on complete roles, but with lot of flexibility, you can do your job search, right? Now there are many elements of job search, right? So there are many elements. The first and foremost is the fact that uh, you need to prepare one resume. Everyone knows about the importance of preparing the resume, and I'll share some of my um, you know um, learnings, or some of my observations on the resume part, and I'll show you some of them, right? Yeah. So resume is an absolutely important document. Can you see my screen, Pooja? I have changed the screen. Yeah, you can see now, right? Okay, great.
It is visible.
So resume is an important aspect of the job search, right? When we build the resume, it is extremely important that we have a right set of resume build. And trust me, in the last 3 months, or probably 3.5 months, 4 months, I have scrutinized 600 plus CVs of people who are in the accounts and finance domain, right? And lot of people got rejected on the CVs. This is a known fact to everyone, right? But let us see what kind of changes you can bring in your CV that can help you in getting the job search. And I will show you two CVs of the same person, okay, of the same person, and you will feel the difference, okay? Not on the same person. Let us say we will take it for, um, let me just display it on the screen. Yeah, can you see that this resume which is there on my screen? Yeah, it is just coming on the screen. So
Yes,
you
it
see,
is visible.
yeah, so you see this candidate, this candidate has written a CV. What's your take on this CV, this kind of a CV, right? Will you, if you someone gives you, what will you do with this kind of CV, right? Because there is repetition, right? There are usage of the information which is not relevant, right? There are a lot of things which are written in English which is not at all relevant. But whenever you are coming to your explanation about your uh, experience, it is very very less, right? Not too much has been written. Lot of space has been taken by your past. You are not telling about your future, right? Now, without doing much of the work, what we have done is, now you look at this CV, right? You can see the new CV which is coming on the screen. Yeah. So in this CV, you see all the information is broadly the same of the previous CV which we have written, but it is much structured in terms of the information. It is much vibrant, and hence it gives you a much better chance of getting shortlisted for the interview, right? It is of the same person. It is of the same person, but you see, we removed a lot of information which was not relevant, right? We removed entire table where marks are given from your 10th standard, 12th standard, graduation. How does it matter to a person who is considering you for the job search? He will look at which year pass out you are, what are the technical skills you know, right? What are the other certifications you have done, correct? What's your date of birth, right? All these things are important. Apart from that, you are giving in detail what you have been doing, right? I'm not saying this is an idle CV, but I'll tell you the story behind the CV. This CV got rejected by my earlier scrutiny, okay? But when I spoke to the candidate, I found him or her very, very promising, right? And then our organization actually helped her or him in changing these CVs, okay? And then what we did for this candidate is, we looked at the JD which was required by the company, okay? And we said, okay, you are, out of three things, you know two things, one thing you don't know. So before going out for the interview, you need to learn those things. So we all have learnability aspect, right? We can all learn things, right? We have mentioned all the facts very very honestly, that we know these things very well, because when we read the JD, it was very clear that the person needs to have language experience, the experience in different languages, right? So fortunately, unfortunately, that candidate was already aware of couple of languages, right? And the third language understanding, he has taken it over a period of time. Means once the JD was floated, and when we were building the CV, we have also built the skill in the candidate, right? So that he or she becomes the relevant person for that company, right? So you see how by, and this person was a reject candidate. He was not shortlisted in our earlier, in the first discussion, or just having the CV review, which is this one, right? Just by the CV review, you see nothing is there, right? Extremely the declaration, the date, place, all are irrelevant things in the CV, right? So the learning from this is, it's a very, so I'm, whatever I'm talking about is not a theory. I've dealt with in four different angles about the job search, right? And this is one of the learning, very recent learning. We were able to get that candidate onboarded. The company is happy, the candidate is happy, right? And because of the work which we did before the interview, he or she could get a satisfactory CTC also. This CV looks like a suboptimal CV, right? It was a suboptimal CV, right? So this is what I wanted to share as my first portion of it, that you need to, you need to work on your CV, right? You need to work on your CV. That is the most important thing when you do the job search, right? Now the second portion of it, when you talk about your resume is important, for sure resume is important to us. However, your social media presence is equally important. Today's world, when I'm doing the job search, look, I'll tell you very honestly from the point of view, very practical exposure on um, the job search. So when a CV comes to me, I'm more than happy, or I'm extremely happy if a LinkedIn profile link is added to the CV. That's the information I'm looking at. Okay, it gives me more reality about you. It helps me in knowing you as the person, right? So in case you are not on social media, I'm sure you are all are on social media, at least Instagram or Facebook, right? I would suggest strongly that you should spend 15 minutes on a daily basis on social media presence, on LinkedIn, not on Insta or on Facebook, on LinkedIn. 15 minutes, be active. And I will tell you the three steps of being active, right? So be active, build your CV, because I am looking at it as a recruiter. My company is looking at it, looking at you as a recruiter. Everyone wants to look at your LinkedIn profile. Everyone wants to know how, what kind of person you are on the social media, what kind of posts do you share, what kind of posts do you like, what kind of posts do you comment, which are the companies you are following, right? How many followers you have doesn't matter. Your views on the social media matters a lot, and it can make or break your chances of getting the job, right? So in the case which I was sharing with you, we got so somehow that candidate was able to speak to us, and we found him or her promising, and we looked at their social media account, and it was okay. I would not say impressive, but it was okay, right? So we said, okay, let's have an interview. So that is where it went into the interview funnel. But always it does not happen, right? HR will not spend so much of time for you to do so much of research. They will only go to your social media account to do a double checking, right? that if only the resume is perfect, okay, then only they will look at social media presence. uh, just by having social media presence, you may or may not get the job interview. That's a different strategy altogether. But if you are going through the HR route, social media presence is the second filter for you. So always, please guys, one request I have for all of you is be very careful on your social media presence. That is not the place to fight battles, right? That is not the place to prove anyone wrong and prove your point as right. Okay, always, always on LinkedIn especially, don't fight any battle. Don't write any derogatory remarks. Don't write any political remarks on that. Be be honest, put forward your viewpoint, but don't fight for that. Getting my point? You may like something, you may not like something, that is your view. You should present that view. But what happens, how the trail starts happening? You have written that, uh, uh, today's HR does not revert to us even after the job search we do. This is one story I am sharing, where my the HR has not given me a proper response for 1 month and all that, blah blah blah. Someone came to your post and said that there are limitations from the HR point of view and you should understand that. At this point in time, when you have given your views and someone else has given his view, don't start proving yourself right. Don't again put forward your point of view, right? We are not there to fight. This is taken very, very negatively. Always try to remain away from controversial subjects. That's my advice. If all of you who are watching here are new to the job search, or in the early stages of your career, that means like 4 or 5 years experience, up to 4 or 5 years of experience, never get into the fight on social media especially, right? On the social media, no one is able, no one has won the battle. People have seen it. There will be thousands and millions and hundreds of views, and your own profile will get a negative marking on that, right? So try, what you should do rather is try to share some good articles, try to comment, try to post, try to like some and follow some good social media influencers, right? And and always be active. If you are not able to generate post on yourself, if you are not able to generate content of yourself, rather you give your viewpoint. If you like someone's comment, if you like someone's post which he has put forward in the social media, you really liked it, be active on it. This will help you in growing your network, right? Without doing anything, keep liking. What will also happen is you will generate your social media likability, right? If you have not heard this term about social media likability, when you follow someone and keep liking or liking his post or commenting his post, you someone becomes, you gradually build a connection with that person, right? So always be very careful on your social media presence, on your social media account. And whoever wants a copy of the resumes or the formats, the next gen formats of the resumes, please drop a comment to us, and we will be sharing with you. Whoever wants the resume format, we will be mailing it across to you, right? Some of the resume formats which are available, right? Okay, so I hope I'm clear on the social media account and the social media presence, plus your resume. Both are extremely, extremely important. I've shown you one example also for both the things, right? Social media is a very, very powerful tool, right? You can do your job search through social media. And trust me, when I'm hiring for my organization, lot of people, I have reached out, my company has reached out on social media, okay, to look for if he or she is genuine, really looking for a job. So that also your social media presence and your social media connect helps you a lot in your job search. But for that, you would have to spend a considerable amount of time to prepare your resume, right? Now if you see, resumes are of three types basically. Okay, resumes are of three types. One is a chronological resume. When you have 2 3 years of experience, what you do, you put it in a chronology, that, and always put it in a reverse chronology, right? The latest job should be on the top, and then you start coming down. Let's say I have my recent, or if I'm making my CV, I will say that I'm a co-founder with Anchor Global from 1st of April 2020 till now. That's my recent. If I have to go back, I will say from 2008 onwards, I was working with a big four organization handling so and so thing, right? This is what a chronology. If you have more items like this, you keep increasing at the bottom, right? So it will be in the descending order if you are making a chronological CV. Then is functional CV. So you don't give chronology, you give chronology at one place, that I was associated with so and so organization from so and so period, right? But you don't give a this thing, uh, in the, you don't segregate your experience with the employer. You say that, look, I come across with so much of experience, and then say I have worked with these organizations, right? The third is both, where both are written, where chronology is written and where functional experience is also written. My recommendation on resume writing is that you first give functional details on the first page, right? Your experience, your domain expertise. Let's say you are doing INDES or GST and all that, what and all you have done. Your first page becomes the showcasing of your skills, what and all you have done, and your experience, right? And the second page, you give chronological bifurcation of your skills, right? So the combination of the CV works if you have so much to write. Otherwise, chronological or functional both works depending on what is the expectation of the employers, right? That's the first thing which I wanted to cover as my tip: resume, social media presence, and how you will make the resumes. One more thing I wanted to, show you in the resume itself. One more candidate, and it's a very powerful CV. If you see, this is a very powerful CV, right? He or she is a very senior professional. Okay, so here you see, this is a this is a uh, your functional expertise has been given. First, it's a mixed CV example. Functional CV has been given, and then when you come to the second organization, second page, your chronology has been given, right? Your chronology has been given in the second page, right? And then other details. So it has gone to a 3 page because it's a very experienced person CV. I hope this looks a impressive CV to you. To me, yes, it's a CV worth looking at, right? So much has been done in this. But again, when this candidate has done the job search, she could not get shortlisted, or he could not get shortlisted, right? Why? Because the point is, in spite of the fact that the JD was shared in advance, the CV was generic. The CV was very, very generic, right? It did not it did not resonate well with the employer. They wanted to listen a particular sound, right? For example, if you like ghazals and someone gives you a pop song, right? Someone tells you that, you listen to the pop song, will you like it? You will not. If you like loud music, a music on which you can dance, right? Then what will happen? And someone gives you a ghazal, you will not like it. So the resume also works in the same fashion, right? Resume also works in the same fashion. You have to, if you are a music composer, right? You are a music composer, right? So you will have to give the music according to the condition and the requirement, right? That does not mean that you will fake it, right? You should not fake it, but tell him what he wants to listen first, right? For example, in case you have 5 years of experience, you have done audit also. For 3 years of articleship you have done audit, 1 year you have done taxation, 1 year you have done GST, 1 year you have done Ind-AS, right? So a very diversified profile. But since you started with your articleship and audit, right, you have always harped on the fact that I'm good at audit, and audit is your first thing. But the interview is for GST, right? But and you know completely about GST, you have good experience in GST. How you will do it? In the professional resume, when you are writing, your your percentage of the text which you are writing on GST should be 50%, irrespective of the fact that your experience is only 1 year out of the total 4 years, right? But you should write more in detail about what you have done. Don't write what you don't know or what you have not done. That is not right. But what you have done, you should write in detail. And then you say audit, make it in one line, direct tax, make it in one line, accounting work, make it in one line. But what major portion of your CV has been taken by GST? So, how it will work? It will resonate very well with the employer, right? So we will have to strategize, right? When you go to uh, purchase something, now it is a mall culture. In the past, when we used to go, the salesman will, how will you feel when the when you want a red color, or let's say a white color shirt, and salesman gives you a green color shirt? He will say, look boss, this is very good, this is a new thing which has come up, and I have personally selected this shirt and this that. You will say, no boss, I want white color shirt. And he has lot of stock of green color shirt, but he has two white color, and because of that he is not showing it, right? But you are very clear you want white color shirt. Which salesman would you like? Who will just tell you, look, these are the two white color shirts I have? Or who will go round and round and will tell you that, okay, if you are not liking green, then let me show you white? By that time you will lose your patience, right? So same thing happens when you don't craft your CV as per the requirement, and hence the rejection rate is extremely high of the CVs, right? So to give us statistics, um, mine is a very small company, right? Bigger companies may have more statistics, but when I was in Big Four, our selection ratio was 1 is to 50. That means 50 resumes, shortlisted resumes by HR. If it comes to us, as a functional expert, we were able to select only one candidate, right? That is where you see on the social media platforms, there is a harp on the fact that there are no jobs, we are getting rejection, we are not getting job calls. There is a reason behind it, right? And the reason is, we are selling green shirt to the person who needs white shirt, right? So sell what is there. We are salesmen, and resume and our LinkedIn profile is our sales document. It's our sales flyer, basically, right? It's our pitch pack. So deal with it very careful, right? So that is how you will customize your CV, right? Now we have spoken about CV, LinkedIn profile, your this thing, customizing, combination, all that stuff. Come what may be, your format is so good, right? But if you are still harping on your past experience, if you are still harping on your marks which you have got 10 years back or 5 years back or even 2 years back, and let me be brutally honest, if you keep harping on the fact that I have cleared CA in first attempt, right? I am a ranker in CA, so ranker still connects the chords, but all these things are good enough to take you to the interview room, maybe, right? But those who have not cleared the CA in first exam or have not got good marks, that doesn't mean they will not get selected. So what you should focus on is skill development. You have to invest every day in skill development. Okay, and I will share some of the cases which has come to me, and the difference which is there between two or three candidates. Okay, always one of the thing is job breaks is one of the major thing which is a problematic for a lot of people, right? Or even for the new candidates, the freshers, the problem is how to fill the CV. You don't have practical exposure, right? How will you write? You can't just make up something and write, right? Always write what is true, because you will get caught in the first interview itself, right? So what is that you are looking at? So the point is, you will have to develop skills. You will have to develop relevant skills to your profession. You will have to do lot of courses other than your formal education, right? Because let me tell you one thing, as in my role, I get an opportunity to deal with lot of CFOs, lot of people who are influential decision makers, right? And like, all the candidates have a problem that we are not getting job, companies have another problem, they are not getting the right candidates, right? It's a twin problem. There are hundreds of people looking for a job, right? And there is a company looking to hire a right candidate, and both are not able to meet, right? It does not mean that companies have very high expectation, trust me, not. They are not looking for superstars, right? I'm working with some of the very large companies in the in India, right? Very big names, but they are not able to find the right candidate, right? We have seen CAs struggle to give depreciation entry, a correct depreciation entry, right? They say depreciation to fixed assets. Lot of interviews, many interviews rather, whoever I have interviewed, CA inters, CAs, MBAs, BCom, MCom, even the basic entry. So we have to make our fundamentals strong, right? Then everyone, lot of people do job search for months, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and because of this Corona time, the wait has got prolonged, right? The question is, if you ask them a question, what have you done in this time? They will not have answer for that, right? They have not invested time on skill development. You don't trust me with this online education coming into picture. Lot of webinars, lot of free webinars are happening. A lot of courses are coming at a very very economical price, very good quality courses, right? But you don't invest time on that. If you invest time, lot of things will happen. Once you spend time on skill development, your resume, you will have things to write on your resume which are relevant, right? Let's say you have done a very good course on automation, Excel automation, let's say. Macros, you know how to build macros, you know how to use DAX functionality in Excel. If you write it, if you have done SAP, all large companies today require SAP skills. If you have done SAP or even tried to do SAP, you will become comfortable, right? PowerPoint, everyone wants to do PowerPoint, right? Everything is on PowerPoint, but we don't invest time in learning it, right? Word, basic simple skills which we need to learn, so that we can say that yes, I have done a formal learning on that, right? If you are, let's say, in GST field, have you done a proper certification course from a decent place? There are so many. Arun himself takes GST course, right? There are so many places. If you are going to accounting field and you have passed your exams 2 years back, you are still under accounting standard, which large company on which you are targeting, they are moved to India's. If you go and talk to them for accounting standard, will they like you? Not at all. The phones we like, the in our hand phone we like the latest, but skill is like 10 years back, right? Go and check, trust me, go and check the version of your Excel. You will be in 2010 or something version, right? 10 years have crossed, Excel has moved to way beyond leaps and bounds, but we don't have 2020 in our laptop, right? So we are lagging behind on Excel, on the skill front, and want next generation job, which will not happen until and unless we seriously work towards getting those jobs. Getting my point, right? So this is what I wanted to, tell you on skill development. Trust me, it only needs time, it only needs commitment. It does not need money that much as your time and your commitment. Commit yourself for 1.5 hours of daily skill development. In my team, whoever joins Anchor Global has to undergo a compulsory skill development training of 100 hours, right? A compulsory skill development training of 100 hours, in which we teach lot of subjects, right? And everyone has a mandate to spend at least 45 minutes a day to 1 hour a day, on an average 7 hours in a month, for skill development. I personally, to be very honest, the way we work is we always have challenging projects in hand. So my first hours of my day just goes in skill development, right? So that is the focus we have to bring in on the skill development. And trust me, those people who have only theoretical skills, I'm not saying pass certificate, I'm not saying certificate, right? You all have degrees, you all have qualifications. I'm not looking for qualifications, I am looking for skills. Those things you can build something on the ground, right? That is a skill. Like for example, the person who makes the pots, right? Kumhar, you say it in Hindi, potter, he also has skill to make thing, right? He does not have any formal qualification. You have already got formal qualification. Don't rush behind multiple degrees, rather rush behind relevant skills, right? In today's world, accounts and finance, trust me, uh, this thing, uh, your technical skills are as important as technological skills. And the way we are seeing, there is more and more demand of techno finance professionals rather than only finance professionals. So you have to become a techno finance professional. in my in my experience, I have seen people who have just refused to learn, who have said, we are CAs, why will I learn Power BI? I am CA, why will I learn macro, right? I am an accountant. Look, the point is, it is getting blur, right? Technology has become a tool. Technology has become the bottom line of all the work which we do. And the more advanced you are on the technology front, the better point perspective you will have, right? One more thing, if you start investing time on skill development, don't assume that you will get the job tomorrow, right? You will not. You will not. You have to be persistent in your effort, and result will come. The other problem with all of us have become is that we have been we are completely focused on instant gratification. We have posted a picture on the Instagram and we want quick likes. We have posted our CV on the job portal. We should get four calls quickly, right? And I should get 2 3 jobs to choose from. It doesn't work that way. The practical life doesn't work that way. You have to do persistent efforts, right? And a lot of things I'm going to share in my presentation, okay, which will be from my failures, okay. So I think skills I have talked about enough on that. In case you have any questions who are online, can you please put it on the chat, and we will be able to answer those questions. Yeah, okay. So if there is no question, we will move forward. And the next thing is that you have got a CV in place, you have got good skills in place, right? But one thing is that preparing for an interview is an equally important task. Right from the day of interview, I have seen people, now it is like virtual, right? Everything is virtual. So I have seen people who are actually logging in late on the calls, right? You are going for a job interview and you are logging in late in the on the call. It's a crime. That candidate is a pure reject for me, right? And for even the companies. And how much is the delay? The delay is 1 minute, right? So this is very 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 important aspect which you will have to keep in mind when you are preparing for the interview. Okay, so you have to be at least 5 minutes before on the interview room, right? So that it's okay, it gives you a lot of comfort. You're not in a hurry, you are getting used to the tool. If let's say there is any problem in the tool, you can sort it out, right? To give an example, for today's webinar, right, I'm not giving any interview. I have logged in 15 minutes before. Why 15 minutes before? Because maybe the tool which I was using was the first time and it just took 30 seconds for me to get things set. But it gave me a lot of comfort that I will not be late for sure, right? Because time is money and we need to manage and respect our time. Then only it will help us in future development, right? So we need to invest on that. Arvind has a question for me, that what are the skills prevailing today? Arvind, I can give you a laundry list of the skills which are prevailing today. Okay. Um, but there has to be a learning journey you have to cross, I would say. And from where you are, Arvind, you are from which background? Can you tell me something about your qualification and experience quickly? So let's assume, Arvind, you are basically qualified with, let's say, 2 3 years of experience. The major skills which you should learn is, number one, the top skill is Excel. You will say, "Yaar, what it is? I know Excel." You know, Excel. I take classes for Excel. My classes are designed specifically for finance professionals and experienced finance professional who have around 7 to 10, 12 years of experience. And trust me, those classes are for 50 55 hours. Okay. And after conducting those classes, I feel I only know around 10% of Excel. So it's a very vast subject, right? It's a very vast subject. Your Excel skills can create a tremendous difference in the output you can create, the financial models you can create, the automation you can create. You can save your time, your company's time, right? And you can quantify that saving, right? So Excel is the top skill. Okay, I am not a person who just go RPA, learn IPA, learn Python. There is a time for everything. Okay, the second skill you should learn is PowerPoint. We all work on PowerPoint, we all struggle on PowerPoint, but no one learn PowerPoint, right? Making presentation is an art. Making PowerPoint presentation is an art, right? Making interactive PowerPoint presentation is an art. You should learn that. That's the second skill. And these skills you can learn very, very quickly because you are familiar with these tools. Okay. The third skill comes is your core skills. Let's say, Arvind, you are in GST. You should learn more about GST, but you should learn a little bit about finance also, right? In case you are in India's accounting standard, you should learn deep knowledge on India's, deep knowledge on IFRS, deep knowledge on US GAAP. If you are in direct taxes, be very proactive on and learn something which is formal, right? Forget about your qualification. The qualification biggest problem is the mindset with which we take up the qualification. We take up the qualification just to clear exam. No one is there to learn, right? Three Idiots, if you have seen, it's a beautiful, beautiful portrayal, right? कि the person who is sitting in the class, he says, यार बहुत सोचा था मैंने कि कॉलेज में आएंगे, पढ़ाई करेंगे, मजा आ रहा है. So he was enjoying the study, he was learning the subject, but others were just running behind the marks, right? Marks और success तो ultimately उसको मिला ही. हमारा भी एटीट्यूड अपनी पढ़ाई को लेकर यही है. मेरा एटीट्यूड भी यही था, भगवान बस कैसे भी सीए पास करा देना, बाकी तो सब हो जाएगा. जब असली समुद्र में आए तो पता चला कि हम तो सिर्फ एक बहुत छोटे से तालाब में तैर रहे थे अभी तक, राइट? वी आर फाइटिंग विथ शार्क्स इन द ओशंस, राइट? सो that is a very, very important aspect, that qualification, even if we don't want to take risk with the qualifications, that's okay, take the qualification, but just after the qualification you will not get job, or even if you are getting a job or doing a job, continuously work on that. Okay, has anyone read about then then you have to advance yourself. Then this is the first basic skills you should learn. Then you go and learn the advanced skills. What are the advanced skills? In case you like technology, you can learn Python, right? You can, and we have taught Python to finance professionals and they really liked it. We have not made them programmers, but they can now code in Python. Okay, so Python. Then you can learn about RPA, know about the future of finance, right? You should know about future of finance, means artificial intelligence, machine learning. How are these things coming and impacting us? Okay, the third, so these are the second level. So second level have two parts. One, in case you are into finance, accounts and all, you should also learn one RPA package. Okay, some of the RPA package, in case you are in practice, I think learning Zoho, QuickBooks, etc., or utilizing Zoho, QuickBooks and the advanced tools is much better way to start. But in case you are looking for corporate jobs, I think learning SAP is a must. Okay, learning SAP is a must. Now when you go to the market, learning SAP is a very problematic thing. Let me tell you very, very honestly. Okay, they will teach you for 80 hours or 100 hours. Okay, you don't need that level of knowledge, because that is a SAP consultant course. That means you are taught how to configure SAP. We as finance professionals are not bothered about configuring the SAP. You should do any course where you are taught end user courses. End user यानी you can pass entries, you can generate reports, you can make rectification, you can do depreciation run, you can run financial statements, you can do troubleshooting. If you know that much, then it is good. Always run SAP in an organization which provides you access to SAP box, because you should do it, right? You should be doing it practically, right? Before you move on, and say in your resume that I have knowledge of SAP, I have done a formal course on SAP, I know about accounting, accounts payable module, accounts receivable module, revenue module, depreciation module, fixed assets module. So the other person will say, okay, it is not his fault. Trust me, the companies also think in that way, that it's not your fault if you have not got practical exposure. It's okay, it's completely okay, right? But he has shown this. Writing skills in your resume adds to your attitude also, that look, this guy has an attitude to learn. He has, in his free time, he has invested, he has learned so many subjects, right? I think these many things are enough for a finance professional to start with. Trust me, if you start learning, you will yourself know what to learn, right? One more thing. Okay, Gaurav, I'll answer your question. How to start learning SAP? Best way to start. As I told you, don't go to an institute which is teaching you consultant course, 80 hours, 100 hours course. Go to the institute or take up those programs which teaches you end user course, right? That is important. Okay. I hope I have answered your question, Arvind, and also Gaurav, right? Okay, great. So you can just call me Piyush, okay? No sir is needed, right? So you can just call me Piyush. That's perfectly all right. So we have focused on this skill, and now we will move on one more important skill which we all fail to learn, right? Rather, couple of skills, and I don't want to go into the philosophical angle of it, but extremely important skills which gets overlooked. Let's say you have a good CV, you have a good social media connect, you have a good skill set, okay, but you lack people skills. You don't know how to talk to people, you don't know how to pursue people, you don't know how to negotiate with people, right? You will fail miserably. You will fail miserably, and I failed miserably in this field, to be very very honest, okay. Then I read a book, okay. Then I read a book, and then it it started changing me, okay. And I started reading um, more and more about um people skills, psychology, human behavior, okay. So when you understand why a people is in a certain way, uh, in the way he is behaving, you will be able to adjust or manage that situation much better. I would recommend reading a book, uh, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, okay. A must read book for all of you. How to Win Friends and Influence People. uh, Very very lucidly written, very very professionally written book, 60 70 years back, but it is so relevant, it is so relevant. It will bring in so many changes in you, trust me. It's a book worth reading, right? And the subject is worth reading, because I don't want you guys to commit mistakes and learn it. No, someone already has committed. That's where you will start at an edge. If you will commit the same mistake which people like me have committed in 10 12 years, and rather than learning from there, you want to go again on a plain set and commit those mistakes, you will be at the same level where I am today, right? But in case you learn from people like me or other people who are around, right, and sharing their experiences, take it up. It will give you a head start to your career. You can anyways reduce 4 or 5 years of your experience. You can take that 4 or 5 years of maturity and experience very quickly by doing all these steps which I am telling you, right? So Gaurav, your question is, many teachers are giving coaching, should I take it? Now your question itself tells you that you need to be little more specific in your study. You need to select an organization or a faculty who is invested into it, who knows the practical. The biggest problem in today's coaching world is that whoever is coaching or giving teaching for, let's say, MBA or another professional exams, they have themselves not dealt with practical situations, right? That's the biggest problem. They have not dealt with practical situations themselves. You look at the teachers, the faculties which are available in the market, right? You go to biggest MBA college, hardly you will find experienced. Even in large colleges, I am sure there are people, but in the normal population you will not find people who are experienced, right? They will just teach you how much is enough to clear the exam. Even professional exams has this problem. I'll not name the professional exams, but you look around, you have taken coachings yourself. Are they practitioners or are they just teachers? That's the problem. I'm not saying they are not good. They are good, they are very good in fact. But the problem is that practical thing which is really needed to cross that hurdle of livelihood, going into bringing your subjects to life, is what is missing. Like for example, CA final has 8 subjects. Trust me, if you master one, you can live your life on one subject: accounts, audit, direct tax, GST, technology, whatnot. One subject is enough if you master it. But if you just clear the exam, you can clear all 8 exams and still we can struggle for the job, right? So a change in attitude is really needed. Once you are qualified also, there is no harm in learning that skill again, right? From a point of view, okay, now I need to, make something out of it. Hmm? So when you are selecting teacher, Gaurav, just look at it, that what kind of teaching methodology they have. If it is theoretical, I would suggest not to go for it. If it is practical, I would suggest please go for it, right? That's the answer in a few words basically. Yeah, I hope I have answered your question. Now, preparing for the interview, right? How many of you prepare for the interview? Just go, and you know that the tell me something about yourself is going to be a question. 19% of the interview starts with this. Okay, tell me something about yourself, right? In the cricket terminology, अगर मेरे को बोलना है तो ये free hit है, right? It's a free hit basically, where you can showcase your strengths, your weakness, your exposure very well. So you have to draft it. How many of us draft tell me something about yourself? Okay, so let me tell you my story around it, that I prepared this tell me something about yourself, where I have to introduce myself in an internal forum. Basically, in the big fours, you have certain mechanisms. So when I was going through that rigorous 1 hour discussion with the senior management, where they have to decide on my maturity and ultimately my career path and all that, where I got time of 10 minutes to introduce myself. Guess how much time would I have spent on this tell me something about yourself? I have spent 6 months preparing for tell me something about yourself. 6 months, right? I recorded myself, I looked at myself, I changed my words, how much to tell, how much to not to tell. All that stuff will be there in tell me something about yourself. If you reflect on your own interviews, okay, you will see that the next set of questions will come from your explanation itself. There is hardly people will ask which is outside your resume. There will be one question: do you know this? I can't see this in your CV, something like that. But people are focused on, I am as an interviewer focused on to know how much well you know what you have done. What you have not done is not done. I know from your CV that you don't know XYZ thing, but what you know, in how much depth you know, I want to know that. And your tell me something about yourself sets the tone of the interview, right? You are the first person to set the tone of the interview. So you should do it very, very well, right? So prepare well, customize the wordings, read the JD, pick up the key wordings. In case you have that exposure, include and tell me something about yourself. Don't waste time in telling, I'm from this location. Basically, my father does this, my mother is a homemaker, I have three siblings. You are wasting a precious time. It is not adding value to your CV. It is not adding value to who you are. The interviewer is not going to hire you basis what your father or mother do, or how many siblings you are, or from which city you are. They will, if they like you, in the end they will ask you this question themselves, then you answer it. Don't use that premium time in explaining these things which are of no value, right? So focus on value when you are giving something on, tell me something about yourself. Okay, can you introduce yourself, right? Arvind, can you introduce yourself, right? You should not be wasting your time in that. Correct? How many of you do that mistake? I think many, right? We start saying, my family is this, and I started my career so and so. Look, boss, let's be brutally honest. Companies are not hiring you for your problems. People are hiring you only for the value you can bring onto the table. That's it. Nothing else. Focus on what you bring onto the table. Have a very, very professional relationship, right? Bring these aspects when you need it. Otherwise, don't talk about it, right? This is a fact which they would like to know from you. It's a matter of fact. So don't. So practice your tell me something about yourself. I would recommend strongly to write and practice, but don't memorize, right? Be natural. But you know that what to tell, what not to tell, what are the key pointers you are telling you, right? Let's say I'll give you my example and how I will introduce myself, right? So you see, in today's webinar, I have introduced myself as a recruiter, as a job seeker, as a influencer in recruiting, as a recruiter myself, as an entrepreneur, right? Four things I have told you. Was it relevant to you? Yes, I have tried to make it relevant, right? But let me tell you, if I'm going for a discussion where I'm being called up to have a discussion on some technical matter of IFRS, will I introduce in the same way? I will say no, not at all. How I will introduce myself? I will say that I'm a qualified chartered accountant, 12 years working experience with Big Four, and I've done multiple transition projects in IFRS, US GAAP, Ind AS, and all that stuff. And I'm currently working as a Ind AS or technical advisor for XYZ clients. Very, very customized. Tell me something about yourself, because the purpose is that, right? Let me tell you another example. If I'm going for an organization which is looking for a skill development program for their finance people, what I will say, look, I'm from a Big Four, 12 years experience. I'm on my journey to entrepreneurship, and I'm very passionate about skill development. I have run several programs for qualified chartered accountants, for qualified experienced finance professionals in the range of 7 to 12 years. Finance skill development is my core. I have done XYZ programs in retail batches, and I have done, you know, I'm associated with these four companies for the skill development of their employees. Very relevant, very focused. This is what they want to hear. They don't want to hear how many people I have recruited. Why will I tell the same thing? So in Hindi there is a kahavat, right? Jaisa des vaisa bhes. Correct? Nothing, no, none of the introduction is wrong. None of the introduction I have made up. None of the introduction, but I have just changed my emphasis. I have just changed my emphasis looking at the audience, right? Whoever is the audience, I will change my introduction, right? But let me tell you, if I am sitting in my with my friends, will I introduce myself like this? Or if I'm meeting a new person in an informal atmosphere, I will not introduce myself like this, right? Job is not what identifies me. I will talk about my hobbies. I will talk about my routine. I will talk about the books I want to read, what I have read, the movie. I will say, look, boss, I have seen this Mirzapur series very recently. So the point is, it is very, very dynamic. This statement, tell me something about yourself, is so powerful that it it can make or break. And literally, after your CV selection, after your proper scrutiny, your decision is made in your statement, what you are saying. Other After that, whatever confirmations are coming are kind of reconfirmations. Whatever questions are coming are only reconfirmations, nothing else. They would like to know more and more about it. They will go into the depth and try to test that whatever you are saying is right or wrong. And trust me, if you make up something, like for example, one candidate got, he impressed me like anything, very good introduction, and I know SAP. I asked him, do you know SAP? He said, okay, yeah, I know. And he in his introduction said, I know SAP. When the discussion progressed, so I asked him, give me some T codes of the SAP which you are using. He said, what? I said, T codes, as if he was listening it for the first time. And I rejected. I rejected then and there because he was not telling the truth in his tell me something about yourself. You have to tell truth. You have to tell truth in the right fashion and in the right manner. Okay. What you have to bring in is, don't harp in your CV also on your attempts, marks scored, rank, this, that. Put it in a subtle way, but that should not become your selling point. Your selling point is what you can bring onto the table for the organization. They are paying you for something. You want value out of it. When you purchase, you spend even a single rupee, you want value out of it. Similarly, organizations are also looking for value, right? So basically, I have covered this subject in a very high level, on a very high level. I just wanted to show you few case studies, my experience. Trust me, companies are there to hire us. We should become eligible to get hired. Qualifications do play a role. It is just a ticket, right, to the interview hall. But after that, or it just makes you eligible to send your resume rather. Okay. But after that, what happens is your CV, your interview, your social media profile, how much you have invested yourself in the skill development, how you come across as a person matters a lot. Okay. And if honestly, I tell you, a lot of people get hired because of their attitude, and a lot of people get rejected on their attitude, right? For example, in my earlier days also, and now, when you call someone, okay, and you ask, hello, am I speaking to, let's say, Arvind? Am I speaking to Arvind, or am I speaking to Mahesh? And Mahesh says, yeah. And he says, yeah, Mahesh here. And you ask him, are you looking for job? Yes, I'm looking. Tell me. Now, this tell me comes so arrogant, right? You are getting a job call from your prospective employer. So you cannot be um, arrogant. And your voice modulation in today's world, when interviews are happening in the virtual environment, your voice should be very genuine, should be very honest, right? Because people tend to take weak signals, and trust me, these employers are very very experienced. They have spoken to hundreds and thousands of people, right? So they will come to know about you. They will definitely understand your point of view from where you are coming from. So be very genuine when you are taking the interview on the virtual environment. Even if the interviewer has not switched on his video, you should switch on your video. It gives you an additional edge in the interview, right? So this is a long journey. Basically, if I am able to add value to your job search journey, I would be happy. I would rather term it as a livelihood journey, basically, not only restricted to job search. So I'm really very thankful to educating for giving me this platform, for coming and sharing my experience. And yeah, so I would like to close the session here. If Pooja, you have any points to add, please do add.
Yeah, thank you, Piyush. I would like to request all the participants if they have any question, any doubt, they can ask.
If you have any questions, please do ask, guys. I'm here. And
For the next 5 minutes, we will take the question answer session. If anybody having any doubt or any query regarding any point that we have discussed,
thanks, Arvind. Thanks. Pooja, your voice is not coming. I'm not able to hear you.
hello, sir, can you hear
Yeah,
me
yeah, I
now?
can hear you now. I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
okay. Okay. So I was just requesting all the participants if they have any doubt, then they can ask. And I also request to give your feedback
Yes,
and
if you
vote of
can give the
thanks.
feedback, I think that will be great for me.
Your feedback and the vote of thanks to Piyush Khandelwal.
How to validate job switches? Arvind, what do you mean by that? Can you just explain me a little bit? Validate job changes means, job switches means? No, Arvind. In today's world, that is where I wanted to tell you that what is more important is livelihood. You are taking responsibility of yourself. You are an uh, independent skilled person, and you can earn in whatever situation you are put into. You have to reach that level, and then you will stop worrying about stability, right? Look, your worth is not should not be determined by your employer, right? If not this employer, then you have attained so many skill that you can bring value in other forums, other this thing also. No, this goes against a lot of people, Arvind. Let me be very very honest. The question of job stability is one of the biggest question. And in my experience, some of the people are little skeptical about joining my organization also. Okay, if I have to share with you honestly, because I'm a startup, right? I give all the details about what I am doing, which type of clients are there, but some people still feel hesitant. I respect that, right? But stability is something which was there in the government sector, right? And but today we are not so passionate about government jobs, right? Even government jobs are not that stable. So things are changing very very dynamic fashion. Even permanent jobs, whoever were there, they were given 1 month 2 month notice period in this COVID period, and they were asked to leave. right? So there is no such thing like stability. So you cannot make your organization stable. You can definitely contribute to a certain extent, but if you keep on continuously building skills and sources of income for you, I think you will be in a better position mentally, and that stability will come in that way. Yeah, I hope I have answered.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Is there any other question by any other participant? Please ask and give your feedback, please.
Yeah, if you like the session, if there were things in that, please feel free to share it with your friends. And because to be honest, it's a very very wide subject. Even if we take a 8 days classes on that, that is also not enough to do things. Yeah. Just to give you more, since questions are not there, to give you more
Gaurav
insights.
is uh, thanking you,
Yeah,
and he started following you on LinkedIn
thank
also.
you. Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks. So let's be connected. What I am saying is, you know yeah, so you will have to develop a particular mindset for this particular thing, because even LinkedIn itself, how to handle that tool of LinkedIn is a art in itself, right? But few tips I was able to give you in this seminar. And yeah, the point which I was trying to make is, because we help people get recruited also, so we recruit in our company, and we have tie-ups with other companies where our KPI is to give skilled resources there. We help people prepare for the interviews. So we take mock interviews, we take help them in getting through. And with that, 1 or 2 hours of extra work is definitely good for increasing the strike rate. So candidates who have gone through that rigorous process were much better in job interview than they were before, right? So you have to invest that time in yourself. In case you need some um, some good questions which are generally asked in the job interview, it will definitely be available on the Google. But just ping us, give your mail ID, and we will be able to send you those questions, and also some of the CV formats which you may like to use it, right? I would not say they are best in class, but whatever you like, you can use your CV format. Try to move on from the bald looking, the first format which I have shown you. Try to move out of that and try to make it a little more dynamic. Don't make it too much colorful, but little more dynamic with bold italics, things which you want to highlight. Putting your picture is a good idea these days. So have clicked your get yourself clicked. Be very careful about the background which you are having in your photograph, right? So very very professional looking photograph, if you will put, it will definitely add a value to your profile and to your job search for sure. Yeah,
Kalpesh is
Kalpesh,
also
thanks.
thanking you.
Thank you, Kalpesh. Have a nice day, everyone, and thanks a lot for your time. I have taken 90 minutes of your life, right? So I should be thanking you for that. Time is value, and a lot of people have joined us on live. So I've taken 90 minutes. I should be in a position to give you value, right? For that. Thank you.
It was a superb session indeed, and really we learn a lot about as a job seeker, we learn a lot, and
Sure.
as well as a uh, employer also who is taking or shortlisting the candidate, what we should see in the resume and how we should look at them. That in that way also we learn a lot.
Sure. Sure,
Thank you.
Pooja. Thanks a lot. So,
Thank you, Piyush.
okay. Have a nice day, everyone.
Okay.